Hello, my name is Derek Toro, and today we're going to go over the Component 6 portion of my final project for my Management 4300 Strategic and Management Policy class at Northwestern State University. So for Component 6, I selected to discuss Harrison Street Real Estate's acquisition of Campus Crest Real Estate. The companies entered into a definitive merger agreement back in October of 2015, and the acquisition was completed in March of 2016. The reason I selected these two groups was because I used to work for Campus Crest when I lived in Texas prior to moving back to Louisiana in 2012. So the first part of it is the background on these companies. So the first person involved is Campus Crest. Now, according to their old website, they themselves are a real estate investment trust. They're a REIT. Engaged in ownership, development, building, and the management of student housing properties under the Grove brand name. These guys were all over the country. The company rented student housing properties, offered student housing services, as well as their own construction group. So that all stayed in-house. The next piece of the puzzle talks about Harrison Street Real Estate. These guys are located in Chicago, Illinois. They are one of the leading real estate investment firms in the country. Right now, they have about $13.7 billion in property assets and are publicly traded through multiple investment vehicles. So a little bit to set up the pace of where these guys have come from. And again, in March of 2016, there was a completed acquisition. So how did it get to this point? Why did it have to take place? Well, prior to the beginning of 2015, Campus Crest was having its fair share of troubles. Among the bad news in their third quarter, there was reported that there was a net loss for their shareholders of about $130 million. So basically, they lost about $2.01 per share compared to the previous year with a $3.7 million increase. That's going to cause a massive dent no matter who you are. Shortly thereafter, Campus Crest continued that fall from grace, and what had occurred was that they started to lose their upper management. Shortly before 2016 got started, they had lost their one of their co-founders. They also had lost their chief financial officer, and so that's kind of the situation there. The good news is that they had already worked with Harrison Street on some of the projects when they were successful when they went public in 2012. Campus Crest in 2012 was one of the strongest student housing real estate firms in the country, easily in the top 3. So it made sense for Harrison Street to want to acquire this company. Again, they've done previous work with them. They're familiar with the product, their own product, as well as Campus Crest, so it just made perfect sense. So let's get to the brass tacks. How much did all this cost? So the first piece was that in October of 2015, the news came out that the merger had started to take place between Campus Crest and Harrison Street. And at that point in time, the deal was reportedly worth $1.9 billion. And so they went on ahead and started getting this process done. As far as market perception, it was a positive one, and a lot of people encouraged it. The acquisition of Campus Crest Communities builds on Harrison Street's existing student housing strategy, which continues to be a core focus for the firm going forward. So what they've done is they went back to the basics. Harrison Street had a program that worked. It stopped doing what was going wrong for Campus Crest, and they were able to get the train right. And so that's where it all made sense. As far as the ins and outs of the deal, since the acquisition, Campus Crest, those properties have shown signs of improvement. None of them have closed down. They haven't lost any kind of luster. If anything, the brand has actually improved through the years. When we go back to talk about were there any problems achieving success in the acquisition? On January 26th, to gain approval, 99.3% of the shareholders voted in favor of having this merger completed and the acquisition done. Even Campus Crest management had stated that they were pleased with the investors' overwhelming support of the transaction. Campus Crest and Harrison Street are going to work successfully and diligently towards closing one chapter and moving forward to a bigger and brighter future. So now it's all under one flag, under Harrison Street Real Estate Capital. And since the acquisition took place, Harrison Street acquired 33 student housing properties, 6,234 apartments, and 17,664 beds. So there's a lot of real estate that was offered in that acquisition. And again, all of them have not closed, and all of them are still successful in their business. So moving forward, what did that do for Harrison Street? Well, now their portfolio is in excess of $13.7 billion. They have started going outside of the United States. They are marketing in Europe and other continents, other countries around the world. And one of the things that they wanted to boast about was they have over $6.3 billion and 344 different properties. So again, the merger took place back in 2016. Even though it was really shaky for Campus Crest going in, they came out of the beauty contest winning first place. And so the great thing about it is Harrison Street acquired a great property and only made it better. So thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video and listen to this presentation. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.